My name is Jay McAllister, and this is my second year living in Beecher.
No beats.
So where do I start? How did I wind up in Little Beecher, Illinois? Well, I'm fairly active with networking and I'm pretty visible on social media. I think a lot of times people just assume, especially since I'm an entrepreneur, that I live in Chicago or a big city like Joliet or Schaumburg, Naperville. I had a good friend of mine who used to actually live here at my current property. Evan ran a very successful internet company that specialized in providing high-speed broadband to rural areas such as Beecher. And I remember for the longest time I hadn't even come over to visit because it was so far away from everything, seemingly. So one day he invites me over. I think it was a 4th of July party. Evan hired a personal DJ. He had the speakers blasting. We were going until 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. And obviously no issues with neighbors or noise complaints because it was just, there's no one around. We had a bonfire going, and I just remember it was just such an awesome experience. And it really allowed everyone here to kind of just let their guard down and be authentic and just enjoy each other's company. So fast forward a couple years later, Evan actually sold his company and decided that he was going to now, with no ties to this area, move to a warmer climate. So he ended up moving to Temecula, California. Very jealous of that fact, by the way. But when he moved, he reached out to me and let me know that, he was going to be moving out of this property and wanted to see if I was interested in it. So when I started to weigh the benefits to figure out whether this decision even made sense for me, I thought about things like the fact that, this is a big house, 6,000 square feet almost of finished livable space. And at the time it was just me. I was single and I really didn't need that much house. Obviously, I had plans at some point in the future to maybe meet someone and maybe start a family, but that was pretty much a distant thought for me. But the big appeal was the land that it's on. This property is just about 7 acres of manicured landscaped lawn. So that appealed to me. And then also the fact that, here there's a separate building, which is a 2,000 square foot pole barn, which is right there behind me. And that was really appealing to me, especially as a motorcycle and car enthusiast. I frequently am installing various upgrades and just performing maintenance on my vehicles. There are some downsides. So one is that I live on a gravel road. So it definitely would make it difficult for me to want to even bring my Corvette out just because of that, and then just the distance and proximity from everything. The closest town that has shopping, entertainment, and dining would probably be Bourbonnais, Illinois, or Frankfort, Illinois, which are both about 30 minutes either north or south. Just take your pick. And then the fact that a big one for me, especially being a tech entrepreneur, is that there is no high-speed internet here. Thus why Evan had started his company to service this area. So that was something that really, it may seem like a small factor, but for me that was huge because I rely so much on being connected. So all in all, obviously weighing all the factors, the pros and the cons, I decided to move in and take over this property. Had our gender reveal party here. Lots of people came by. 4th of July was absolutely insane. We actually raced our trucks around my property. Just kind of an off-road experience. Almost winded up in the pond, but we're not going to talk about that. We've made so many memories, and there will undoubtedly be more that unfold. And regardless of how long we live here, this will always be cemented firmly in my memory as an amazing part of my life.